What is up YouTube, and today we're just going to be showcasing what team I am using for Rift. Honestly, this is by far the best team. I'm pretty sure everyone is using this team that has access to these units because just the best units for this area of content overall. So basically what you want is you need 4 units obviously. You're going to want a main damage dealer. That's going to be your Vivian here. You're going to want a defense breaker. That's going to be your Bologna. You're going to want a frontline unit. That's going to be Wukong. And then you want a healer debuffer with immunity buff. Ray is the best option. You can only bring earth elemental heroes, so you have to be very specific in what you want to bring. And basically the gimmick with this boss actually is going to be that you need to just constantly be AoE attacking this boss, and that is because you want to actually apply, where's the debuff here, this debuff here, Sever. You're going to see when you suffer an attack that targets all allies, you'll increase damage suffered by 30%. So you want to abuse this fact, and by actually attacking the boss with an AoE attack, you will actually remove this buff it has, Abyssal Tentacle, which increases its damage, and apply Sever. So basically by using AoE attacks against the boss, you will be actually making the boss weaker and doing more damage to the boss over time. That is why we're using this team here. Immortal Wukong with his skills off will be AoE attacking every turn. Bologna has a ton of AoE attacks, and Vivian has an attack buff, immunity buff, does a ton of damage, and also has an AoE attack. And your Immortal Wukong will be your frontline unit. Basically, if we just look at the builds here, let's just look at earth units here. This is what I have my Wukong on. Lifesteal set is very good because he has to be in the front to tank the damage. Very bulky with his artifact giving him critical hit resistance. And he's very good because the boss does a lot of penetration, and by having this passive maxed out, you're going to be taking very little damage. You'll be boosting up your speed very quickly, and then with your S1, because it's always AoE and also giving you a barrier to help you survive longer, you'll just be doing a ton of damage and stacking a ton of debuffs on the boss to help your main damage dealers, who will be Vivian and Bologna. Now, if you guys actually saw, my Wukong also is on Grace of Growth, so he's missing out on a lot of damage. You're going to notice all of my units actually are not really maxed out Mulgoro wise. If you want to actually clear Rift in one turn before you actually level up your Rift controller too high, then you do want to max out your units here. But if you guys look, I have literally 2 Mulgoro left, so kind of saving it for ML Luna, to be honest. But this is the Vivian build I have here. Rage set's very good, crit set because she doesn't need pen, and you just want her on this damage artifact to do increased damage to the boss. Exclusive equipment to boost her CR is very nice as well, and you just want full damage on her. You don't really need that much bulk, because by using Immortal Wukong, the boss will actually take more damage and also be doing a ton less damage to your team, so you actually don't need that much survivability. And also you have Bologna here, same thing, rage set, make sure she's at 135% effectiveness. That's how much you need to land defense break. I also don't have her maxed out, except her S3 to the 100% defense break. But if you want to do more damage with her, obviously you want to max her out. She's probably the least priority though, because more so as a damage dealer, she's a defense breaker. And because of that, you need effectiveness, and when you're going for high effectiveness, you're going to notice her damage drops off, so I only have her at 2.4k attack. And for artifact, Bloodstone, probably the best by far. She'll be able to sustain your team. If you don't have Bloodstone, you might need to build your units more bulkier, but you can also use her on another damage artifact, or even like a Misconf file, or even a Noggle's artifact to actually land more defense breaks. But Bloodstone will make your runs way more consistent. Next, we have your Ray, your healer here. So where can I even find him? I think he's not even fully awakened, that's why he's down here. Yeah, so my awakening is at 5. This is my Ray here. I only have, the turn cooldown. very budget. Obviously, if you max him out, your team will be able to survive more. But you want him to be the fastest on your team. You want him to go first to put up this immunity buff, and also just make it so that your team can't get debuffed here. And you want him to be able to cycle quickly to heal your team and cleanse your team. For the artifact, the most important thing is you probably want Rod of Amaryllis. If you don't have it, Unfading Memories, Diane's artifact is very good as well, so you can heal a lot more. And you just want 200% effect resist, and just as fast as possible while being somewhat bulky, right? That's pretty much all you need. Speed set for sure, and then effect resist or health set, anything, even broken set is fine. So exclusive equipment, you want to have this one, where if you S1, you're reducing the cooldowns of all your teammates by 1 turn. If they're all earth, which is going to be your team, right? Because it's all earth. Very strong. Now, if you're missing some of these units, there's a ton of other units you can actually use for earth units, right? For example, for the front line, you can use Falcon or Clury. She's fine. She's very tanky. She defense breaks. For your damage dealers, you can also use a Landy instead of your Vivian. Landy will also do a ton of damage, ton of AoE damage as well. You can also even use Asaria as your defense breaker instead of Bellona if you want. She's very strong. Even Vildred is fine as well if you are lacking Landy as well, because his S3 is also AoE, only a 4-turn cooldown with Ray, pushing it back up quicker over and over. And because Vildred scales with speed, you can actually build him very fast and not lose too much damage and cycle his S3 even faster. But this team comp I have right now is by far the best because not a lot of earth damage units actually have a lot of AoE, and I think Immortal Wukong's the only one that has it on his S1, so he'll be the best option for sure. If you're lacking a good Soul Weaver, you can actually use Jet. He's pretty good as well. Or the other 3-star new Soul Weaver that just came out. Very, very good as well. I forgot her name, or his name. But Jet is also very good. He has a lot of healing and can also dispel. But for sure, Ray is going to be the best bet. And the units I just have here are going to be the best options for your team. But before we actually get into the battle, let's talk about the dimensional fragments that you want. So for the first row, which you get right away, you want the AoE damage one. If you're actually struggling to survive, Abundance is fine if you're using Wukong in the front row because he will actually heal your team. If you're not, then Reincarnation is okay as well. It'll give you some survivability. Second row, you want the one for warrior heroes, targeting all enemies, extend debuff durations. Very, very good. This makes your runs a lot quicker because you'll extend the sever debuffs and also the defense breaks. Otherwise, you can use either this one if you're using duplication if you're using Vivian and you don't have Wukong, or even Third Eye if you're using like a Thief. But for sure, Amplification is the best. For the last row, what you want is this one here, Instability. If you're using Wukong, you just do more damage based on the debuffs on the boss, and there's a ton of debuffs. And the last row, probably Rift Counterforce is going to be the best here because you're not going to be really using a Ranger and you don't really care about the Soul Weaver immunity. If you are using Landy, you can use this one and you're not using Wukong, but honestly, this one is Rift Counterforce is just going to give you more damage overall. So I'll show you how the battle works. Keep in mind, once you get to Rift Controller 8, if you have really good gear and your skills are fully enhanced, you probably can start one-shotting the boss with this team composition. Just keep in mind that I actually don't have any skill enhances, so my damage will be a lot lower. So you want more Wukong in the front row here. Skills off, so he's constantly applying things onto the boss here, the debuffs. And Ray goes first to cleanse the team and put up immunity. And you'll see that basically my Bellona S3s here lands defense break, and then we'll start doing a ton of damage after my Vivian gives everyone attack buff, which is very, very nice. The heal here, and then you'll see Wukong, because he's getting hit over and over, he's going to be getting a lot of speed. And you're going to notice that Bellona's damage is pretty high, even though she has no skill enhances. So if I skill enhance her, she'd be doing a ton more damage. Same with Wukong actually. His S1's only +2 because he's on Grace of Growth. Yeah, so I would be doing a lot more damage here, but you guys should be doing a ton more damage if you have your skills enhanced anyways. But you'll see with this team comp here, you're not going to really ever die. And yeah, this is just by far the best team I've used and I've seen other people use as well. And for me personally, I take 2 cycles to kill this boss, I believe. Or 2 rounds. But you're gonna see with this team composition, look how many debuffs the boss has. So many of these damage increases. And also the boss has no buffs, right? No blue tentacle buffs. So he's not really doing any damage to my team here. And Wukong just tanks so hard.
It's okay, everyone.
And Ray here will put up a barrier, immunity for my team. Very nice. Get attack buff here one more time. And we should be able to do a decent chunk of damage. So yeah, I 2-round it. With skill enhances, honestly, I would 1-round it for sure. Or with more counter force if I level more. But for me, I don't want to waste my Mola. So I'm going to probably just deal with the 2-round cycle until I get more counter force. And then I'll probably be able to 1-round it. So yeah, this is the team comp you want to use. You're going to see that the damage here is going to be pretty crazy from Vivian and also Wukong here. So just imagine if I skill enhance him more, he'd be doing insane damage. But yeah, this is the best team comp in my opinion, and I guess other people's opinions as well. Let me know in the comments down below what level you're at in Rift, and also what compositions you're using if you're using a different one. Peace.